with their wife.
All right, good morning. This is our group, Group B. These two handsome fellows in the circle are Vikas and Tom. Vikas is a software engineer. Tom is a finance guy, but for some reason he still knows everything. Now, they just insisted we write this blog about big data. Now, honestly, by show of hands, can I please see who did not really know what big data is before this course? Now, be honest about this. Put your hand up if you still don't really know what big data is. Alright, so what we're going to do now is basically a big data for dummies crash course. It's going to be the next 4.5 minutes, and we'll start off by explaining what big data actually is. Now, if you go online, you're going to find a lot of different definitions of what big data actually is. Problem is, most of these definitions are going to be super techy. So let's try to make it simple. Think back to what your room looked like when you were growing up. Probably very messy, a lot of stuff. Now, imagine how cool it would be if you could find in this room whatever you needed, not when you needed it, but even before you know you even need it. That is basically the essence of what big data is all about. Being able to find the information that you need in a huge database and utilizing it to your benefit. And that's a problem that big data is solving. The world is generating huge amounts of information. This information is being generated at a pace which just grows and grows each and every year. That's a problem. Now, if we're talking about the textbook definition, for big data, textbook definition talks about big amounts of data being generated at very high speeds, coming from various different sources. Take, for example, the experiment in CERN in Switzerland, the particle accelerator. That thing up there, it generates over 20 terabytes of data per second. That's 20 terabytes of data per second that scientists need to analyze. Social networks generate huge amounts of information. E-commerce, all of those, huge amounts of information. So how do you get a competitive advantage? Basically, if you know how to utilize all the data that you have to your benefit, that's how you get a competitive advantage. Now, some of the more common applications for big data are, for example, tracking consumer behavior, like the Target example we talked about in class, detecting cyber fraud, credit card companies use this all the time, business intelligence, analyzing stock market trends. Now, all of that is done through a process called data mining. Data mining is basically excavating the exact information that you need from whatever database you may have. Now, talking about the business side for just a second, currently the biggest hitters in this industry are making the most money out of selling big data related services, hardware and software, are these three companies who in 2011 alone made over $2.2 billion in revenue just by selling big data related services. Now, I want to spend just a minute talking about the bit of the darker side of big data. A lot of privacy issues have been coming up by this so-called cyber stalking. Let's start off with a real-life example. Step out of the cyber world for a second. Let's say, God forbid, JD here is involved in a car crash. Nothing too serious, but still get taken away to the hospital. Now, when he's at the hospital, you start being approached by lawyers, insurance agents, car repair shops, car garages. Now, I think it's a pretty safe assumption to say we all feel this is very wrong, this is not something that would happen in real life. But what would happen in real life is he will go back home, he would log on to his Gmail account, and send an email to his friend saying, hey, I was involved in a car accident. Now, as soon as he hits the send button, bottom right hand of the screen, ads will pop up for car repair shops, insurance agents, all those people who approached him before and it seemed very wrong. Now, how come this seems wrong in the real world, but it doesn't seem wrong in the cyber world? This is probably because the cyber space feels more secure to us than our personal space. Now, let's get back to the benefits of big data. For all of us as future managers, business owners, big data means big bucks. If we will be able to utilize whatever database we may have to our advantage, it will mean a lot of money to us. Now, if we work on the IT side, this market, which is currently estimated at just over $5 billion, is supposed to grow to over $50 billion in just 5 years. So let's sum this up very quickly. How will big data help us stay ahead? Big data is here to solve the problem of the huge amounts of information which are being generated, and it can be applied to any business as diverse as the people in this classroom, from the retail industry to the most cutting-edge scientific experiments going on known to man. Thank you very much.